Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. So this chapter is the way to a fortunate rebirth. And this subchapter is called The Key to Good Fortune. And the key to good fortune, talking about this lifetime, the existing lifetime. And in here, actually, the Buddha started off about himself. How did he get here? So he actually mentioned in here, having cultivated for 7 years a mind of loving kindness, as for 7 eons of contraction and expansion, I did not return to this world. That means he wasn't reborn as a human being. And whenever that eon contracted, I reached the plane of streaming radiance. That means he's in the higher heavens. And when the eon expanded, I arose in an empty divine mansion, and there I was a Brahma. So we all know the Brahma is the highest of all beings in the heavenly realms. The great Brahma, the universe, the unvanquished victor, the all-seeing, the all-powerful. 36 times I was Seka, ruler of the Devas. So you all, when we go through this chapter, you will see the heaven. The many heavens that the Buddha actually talk about, or in the Buddha's teachings talk about. The Seka was the king of all these heavens. So we can just read from this second paragraph. We could just understand from this second paragraph that the Buddha has spent eons of time cultivating loving kindness. You think it's 7 years? No, it's eons. So eons of time cultivating loving kindness, eons of time really doing meritorious deeds, and which is, he was a wheel-turning monarch, a king of righteousness, conqueror of the 4 regions of the earth, maintaining stability in the land, in possession of the 7 treasures. So what need is there to speak of mere local kingship? So mere local kingship is really just very, very minute when compared to what all these meritorious deeds that the Buddha has actually been cultivated for eons of life. And that's why when he became a human being this lifetime, in 2600 years ago, the parami is already really perfectly completed, and the meritorious deeds he has actually done was really completed. I had one good chance to do some meritorious deeds today. You know, when I actually picked up that cat, I thought about the story. I don't know whether you remember the story. It was who was that? Anand and Mahakassapa, or Sariputra, and was it Anand? I think it was Anand. Can't remember the 2 figures, but one of them was Sariputra. One day they went out for alms. One day, in a very hot summer. And so the Buddha was sitting under the shade, and there on the far end there was a girl who was selling watermelons. Of course, not sugar baby. The sugar baby was the watermelon that we grow at Po Lam. It's called sugar baby. Then anyway, so Ananda was the Buddha said, Ananda, go and get some watermelon, get some offering from the girl. So Ananda went over. And so Ananda asking the girl for some offering of watermelon. And the girl wouldn't give it to him. Did I tell this story in English before?
I don't remember.
That was in English? Yeah. So, did I? Versa? No.
I haven't heard it.
Oh, you haven't heard it? Okay. All right then. Then the Anand returned with his head load. Said, "Sorry, teacher, couldn't get an elmo full of watermelons." So the Buddha asked Sariputra to go. So Sariputra went, and before it got to the stall where the girl was, the girl actually brought the watermelon out to offer to Sariputra, and Sariputra came back with the watermelon. So Ananda said, "Why? What happened? What happened?" And the Buddha said, "You know what happened? It's not this lifetime's thing. It's not the girl didn't want to give you the alms. The girl was one dead cat, one lifetime. And when they went out for alms, when in the past life, Ananda and Sariputra went out for alms, or went out as brothers or friends, can't remember. Ananda saw the cat. He just walked by like the guy today. He just walked by. But Sariputra picked up the cat and put it on the side and buried it. So today I had one good chance to make some meritorious deeds. When I picked up the cat today, I thought about, what happened. It's not that I remember that story, so I went to pick up the cat. No, I actually saw the cat. I was driving. I came here just about 5:50, 5:20. I thought I had a lot of time, so I could go into the site and walk around the site for like 15 minutes. This is what I do all the time every Tuesday. So I thought I had a lot of time. But then when I was turning into the gate, the bridge of Po Lam, and I saw there was a big dead, what do you call that? I thought it was a raccoon because the color looks like a raccoon. I thought, I hope people don't drive over it, it will become like flat raccoon cake. So I parked the car quickly and I went to get. I thought Yancy was nearby, so I could help her to direct the traffic. But I didn't see her, and she was not there. So I picked up a shovel. I picked up a pail. I walked out onto the street, and there were cars because it's just finishing work, right? People come by and come by and come by. So eventually, I saw this stream of cars. So I stood on the side of the road. And there was this young man driving this little car, and he just stopped about like maybe 5 feet from the dead cat, the dead animal. And I thought he was coming out because he saw me standing with a shovel and a pail, standing there looking at all the cars. I thought he was going to come out to help me, but he was like Ananda. He stopped, he looked, and he swiveled around and then ran away. So I waited for a minute, all the cars were gone, and I saw one car coming from very far. I knew I could actually handle it. So I got the cat up. And the cat was still warm and soft. So I put him into the pail and he just cuddled inside the pail. He's now sitting in the pail waiting to be buried after this Dharma class. So, it's just a cat. Who cares, right? It's dead already. Who cares? This is the thought of a lot of people. Who cares? It's a dead cat. It's a dead rat. Who cares? But we, as the student of the Buddha, we do need to care. when Paul said, I asked Paul to bury it tomorrow, and Paul said, no, I'll bury it after this. When I'm in the pail, I want people to bury me right into the ground. That's what Paul said to me. I said, bury it tomorrow. He said, no, if I'm in the pail, I want you to bury me right away. So he's going to bury it right after this Dharma class. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So that's great. So, you know, opportunities are always there. Always there. When I pick up the cat, when I was walking here, I thought about the watermelon story. And I said, wow, a dead cat could bring such great merits to Sariputra. And I'm not expecting my merits to be huge, but out of a good heart, you know, I just don't want to see a raccoon kick or a cat kick on the road. So next time if you see some dead animal on the road, stop the traffic and pick it up if you can. You know, or if you are so scared, stop a car, ask them to pick it up. So, so meritorious deeds, you always have opportunities to do it. So sorry, I forgot to animate everything. Oh, darn. Anyway, meritorious deeds. The Buddha said, do not fear meritorious deeds. Because why? Because that is an expression. That is the expression denoting happiness. And what is desirable, wishful, clear, and agreeable, that is meritorious deeds. When you have done something, you know, when I pick up the cat, I wasn't thinking that it was a meritorious deed. I was thinking on behalf of the cat. I don't want to be crushed by cars going through my body over and over again. If I was exactly like you, I didn't want to be crushed like that if I was a cat. So I put myself into the cats, and it feels right to do this. And it really brings such peace and ease when one has done it. I felt so fulfilled, and even though I need to use my hand to put the cat into the pail, I wasn't scared. I wasn't like feeling filthy and grotty and everything. No, nothing at all. It's just wanted it to be safe inside the pail. I knew it was dead. So it's really clear and agreeable that, you know, meritorious deed is really clear and agreeable, and definitely it brings kind of ease and peace to one's mind. So he said many hundreds of times, I was a wheel-turning monarch. It's not just this lifetime thing. It's really, I become a nun this lifetime. And I'm sure I have actually planted such seed for a long, long time, many, many times. And maybe this lifetime, I actually became a nun. No, I think I've been nuns before, but this lifetime is a different kind of, you know, life. And why would I end up in the West? And it's a very strange thing. A Chinese ended up in the West. A Chinese nun ended up in the West. So there must be some past causes to be here. And I could see that it's as a rebirth, this lifetime, a rebirth this lifetime already, you know, a rebirth of when I take up ropes, a rebirth from a late householder to become a monastic, and then as a Chinese to be settled down in here. It's this constant rebirth. So many hundred times I was a wheel-turning monarch. That's the Buddha actually telling us what he has gone through in many, many of his past lives. Is really, really keep on cultivating meritorious deeds. So it's really not just this lifetime. We should actually cultivate this. So of what kind of deed of mine is this fruit? Of what deeds ripening am I now of such great accomplishment and power? It is the fruit of 3 kinds of deeds of mind. And these 3 kinds of deeds are giving and moral discipline and development of meditation. So he said these are the 3 bases of merit. And the 3 bases of merit we see by giving, by moral discipline, by development of meditation. So giving. So we all know about dana. We study about dana before. So anybody could give me how many kinds, at least what the Buddha has taught is big categories of dana. Which 3? Okay, Irene, you want to talk? Okay. Can you unmute her, please? Can hear you.
Oh.
Okay, there you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Material.
Okay.
And giving of courage.
Courage.
Dharma giving.
Dharma giving. Okay. Okay. You have a puppy at home? Oh, I see. She said you are correct.
And giving of courage, the second one.
The courage, yes, the second one is courage. Okay, the first one, material.
Mm-hmm.
So with material, how many kinds in that category? Do you know? Anybody remember? Any of the, Varsha? Okay. Varsha? There you go, Varsha.
Is it external? Sorry, is it external and internal?
Yes, okay. What is the external?
External would be, it could be anything material, it could be wealth, it could be anything from the outside, and internal would be internal organs.
Good, good. Thank you. So not internal organ, not just internal organs. Anything that is within this physical existence, the skin could be, because the skin belongs to your physical existence. Anything outside your physical existence is considered external. Anything that is pertaining to this physical existence is considered internal. So the first dana, the first type of dana, physical dana, you call material dana, is there are two types to that particular type. Great, good. So giving blood is a kind of dana. Okay, giving bone marrow is a kind of dana. Giving skin is a kind of dana, and the eyes and everything is kind of dana. Those are the physical, our physical body dana. Okay, then the material is money and food and clothes and medicine and water and everything. Okay, that's great, good. And then the second thing is giving courage or giving dana that helps people to become fearless, like not scared. So, for example, you agree to help somebody to look after their kid, or and the parents said, well, I don't really know you. Should I let you into my house? Should I let you look after my kids? But because of, even though they don't know you, maybe because of demeanor, or they heard about your reputation, people say that, oh well, they are students of they are students of the Buddha, and they abide by the 5 precepts, and they have a lot of loving kindness, and they meditate, and blah 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 blah. Excuse me. And then the parents said, Oh, nice. Then I don't have to worry about my kids. Or I don't have to worry my dogs, or worrying about my dogs, who, you know, something like that. So, or you accompany people to whatever things that they have to do, and because they're so scared, and you try to calm them, you give them courage, you encourage them, you know, you support them so they are not scared, they're not fearful. So that is the second kind of dharma. It's like providing psychological and mental comfort. Yeah, and the third one is the gift of Dharma. So the gift of Dharma, that means you're sharing Dharma. No matter how much you know, you share the benefits of Dharma to people, and people hears that, is, wow, wonderful. That's how I started learning about the Dharma. Is my friend helped my mom. Right, my mom had a wonderful departure, but after that, my friend actually became my friend, and he just gave me a book, and I read it, and I thought, wow, that is really the Buddhist teachings. Not like I pray to you and you come and help me. Not this kind. I always thought that this is the Buddhist practice, superstitious. I give you an apple, you give me an orange. And I pray to you, you listen to me, and you help me. You give me a hand to help me. So I always had that thought. I always had that wrong idea. Then after I have read that book about a monk, the life of this monk, I thought, wow. I mean, he was more literate than I am. I mean, and he was so renowned, and he has such a high achievements in his time. You know, he was born in the 18th centuries, and he died in 1930 something. But after I read that book, it was an eye opener. Then I started to read about the Dharma. Then that's how, you know, that was the biggest gift I ever gotten from this friend. And that is that's why the Buddha said the greatest dharma that excels everything, that surpasses all gifts, is the gift of Dharma. So giving. So by moral discipline, so we all know is abandoning and abstaining from any actions that will cause harm and hurt to yourself and cause harm and hurt to others. So as a householder, you know those are the 5 precepts or the 8 precepts, or even with Sramanera with 10 precepts, or for us is 348 precepts, and for monks is 250 precepts. For Mahayana monastics, we have more, also the Bodhisattva precepts, the 10 heavy ones and the 40 light ones. So those are the moral discipline, is the precepts, the one intention of not causing harm to oneself and to others, and in bringing harmony to communities and societies. Okay, and then the third one is by the development of meditation. So most of you would have understand by now, because most of you actually are meditators. So you know, by the development of meditation, we start to understand more and more what the Buddha actually has taught us, and what the message that he actually wanted to pass along to us, so that we could actually put that into our life and really, you know, be able to change our own karma. Nobody can change our own karma for us. Only us be able to change our own karma. That means our life right now and the life after this. So that is the karma. Okay? So in here, 3 bases of merit, he taught us that there are people who actually give only practice very limited degree in giving. So they do practice making of merit, so they do practice meritorious deeds, but only to a very, very limited degree. That means even though they are very well off, they don't give much. They give, but they don't give much. And I totally agree with this because I have seen it. And even though they are capable, they don't give that much. They are always so withdrawn from giving. So, and then even though they have practiced for a long time, they meritorious deeds, but by moral discipline, they abide by it to a very limited degree. So how would you understand this part? He has practiced the making of merit by moral discipline, but only to a limited degree. Do you have any insight into this? No?
Only when it's convenient.
Only
when it's convenient.
Only when it is convenient. Practice of the merit by moral discipline, only when it is convenient. That's what Eva said. So convenience in a sense of like only convenient to you, yourself. Then I will practice moral discipline.
Yeah, or if it's easy, or if it also benefits me.
Yeah, or easy or benefits you, yeah. So one good example is, okay, I will be a vegetarian for 6 days a month. Or I will be a vegetarian for 10 days a month. That is meritorious. Doing 6 days or 10 days, those are uposatha days. So that is meritorious, but still they are not willing to become a full vegetarian. And sometimes when they go out with friends and people have king crabs, and then or barbecue ribs, and say, oh, just a little bit doesn't kill, right? So yeah, I remember Paul said, I cannot resist those tandoori chicken. So
Maybe next time.
maybe next life.
Next time.
Next time you can resist.
Maybe.
So this is limited moral discipline to a limited degree. So I'm not laughing at you, but it is true, isn't it? Definitely it's true. So and I have.
No Buddhist bacon.
So I have seen. I really have seen that people, really senior meditation teachers, and they are only vegetarians when they are teaching, and they are not when they are outside. So it's only convenient and only at certain times. So I doubt about that. And now when I see this, it's really strengthened my faith, my belief that this is limited degree. And so, and of course, when he said he has not undertaken the making of merit by meditation, so he doesn't practice this meditation at all. He doesn't practice meditation at all. So why do you think giving, discipline? Let us talk about that later on. Let us finish looking at everything first. So with the breakup of the body, he will be reborn among humans in an unfavorable condition. So we studied last week about the wealth, the health, and the complexion, and whether one is influential or not influential, whether one has status or whether one is low-born or high-born. Remember that we talk about whether one is wise or stupid. We talked about that last week. It's all because of karma and its fruits. So the same with this, with meritorious deeds, because meritorious deeds are causes. And meritorious consequences are results of meritorious deeds. So there is a very strong relationship here also, depicting the law of causation. So the next thing is, he said, higher degree. So some people or a person practice making of merits by giving and by moral discipline to a high degree. That means by giving to a high degree doesn't mean that really like millions of dollars. And remember that poor woman with the long hair. You remember that, right? I have told that story, right? Versha? Have I told that story? The long-haired woman cut her hair out to exchange for a little oil, and the oil lamp was offered to the Buddha. Oh yeah, good. At last, my students said that I have told that story before. You remember that, Galen? No, you haven't heard that, of course. Not from me. Okay, so that you remember that story, that old lady wanted to buy some oil, but she only has a couple of rupees. And the vendors, the owner of the oil shop said, no, go away. I don't have oil for you, just for a couple of rupees. He went away, she went away once, she went away twice, then the third time she came back. The owner said that, why did you come back? I said to you, I have no oil for you, just for a couple of rupees. It's not worth anything, a couple of rupees. And she said, do you have a pair of scissors? And he said, yeah, I have a pair of scissors. What do you want a pair of scissors for? I thought you want oil. And she said, no, can I borrow your scissors? And you know, in Indian tradition, women's hair has to be kept long. They cannot cut it short. Versha. So he lent her the pair of scissors, and she cut the hair right short. And she handed the hair to the owner and said, can I exchange for some oil? And the owner of the oil shop couldn't resist, because he saw her sacrificing her own status, because hair is status, is a sign of status in the old Indian tradition. So he gave her some oil, and she went into the venue where there are many oil lamps were already lit up, and she lit up one oil lamp to offer to the Buddha, because Buddha was teaching. And throughout the night, all these oil lamps went out, and next morning the bhikkhus came into the venue and saw there was one oil lamp still burning. It was that woman's oil lamp. Why? Because she has given something that was precious to her. The most precious thing that she owned at that time, besides her body. She didn't have anything. She was a pauper. She didn't have anything. She only had 2 rupees and her hair. And she has given something that was so precious to her, just because she wanted to offer. So that was big, compared to people who have billion of dollars. If they only give 1 million, it's nothing. So giving to high degree is not really that the amount, is how precious that is. And of course, the mind, the intention of giving. Okay, so and also moral discipline. All right, so keeping moral discipline to a very high degree, very, very, abandon and abstain to a very high degree. And then, but has not taken making a merit by meditation. So this person has high degree of giving, high degree of moral discipline, but doesn't practice meditation. What happens? Breakup of the body. He will be reborn among humans in a very favorable condition. Maybe born into a good family, very good health, and rich, famous, high status, but no meditation. Okay? Or he will be reborn in heavens, in the company of divas of the four great kings. So the four great kings, who are they? They practice very high degree of making merit by giving and moral discipline. So anybody who actually practice making of merits by very high standard, very high degree, and these four great kings, they surpass all the divas in the same realm, the heavenly realms, same as the human realm. There are different. I don't want to say classes, but there are really different classes of divas. So some of them are sort of like a less superior, some of them are more superior. So they are superior they surpassed all the divas in their own realm in 10 respects. So the first one is divine lifespan. So they have longer lifespan. Some divas have shorter lifespan, just like human beings. Divine beauty and divine happiness, divine fame, divine power, divine sights, divine sounds, divine smells, divine tastes, and divine touches. So these are the divine what do you call, strengths, whatever, that these four great kings have. So he either reborn as a human being with very, very good family wealth, or he will be reborn in four great kings, or he will be reborn in other heavens. So that's why it says on page 167, so he will be reborn in the Tavatisma divas. So it goes on, it goes higher and higher, because there are so many heavens. At least 33 heavens. Okay, so the next one above the great kings is the Tavatisma divas, the total 18. So in here, that is total 18 is 33 heavens, and this is the Kamaloka, the second of the Kamaloka, the second heaven of the Kamalokas. So the Seka is the ruler, is the king in there. So Seka, you all know that Seka Daisektina is actually was a person who actually performed a lot of meritorious deeds, great meritorious deeds by giving and moral discipline, but they don't practice meditation. That's why they are reborn in heavenly beings. And then they surpass the divas in the 10 of that realm in 10 respects. That's the same as this. divine lifespan, beauty, same. Everything will be the same. Okay? But of course, even with this divinity, there will be a different level of divinity. Okay? And lifespan, the first is the lifespan. In the four great kings, the lifespan will be shorter. That means they spend less time in the heaven before they will be reborn according to the leftover karma. Then the next heaven, one higher up, is the Tavitisma Devas. Then the lifespan is way much longer. Way much longer. So this is actually a very important important realm in the old days, when in the Hinduism or in the Buddhist cosmology too. So this is actually the tava. That means, or you can use the Sanskrit word is traya. Traya, that means 33. Okay, traya, that means 33. That means there are 33 heavens. Okay, so this is the second heaven in the Kama Dhatu or Kama Loka. Okay. So you can see in here there is this bracket statement here. Similar statements are made for rebirth among the Yama Devas, Tusita Devas, the Devas who delight in creating, the Devas who wield power over others' creations, and for respective rulers of these realms. So it goes on to other realms, the desire realm, that means the Kamaloka or the Kamadhatu. So there are the four great kings. The four great kings is the first one. Is a Katu Maharajika, that means the four great kings. And then the second heaven is the Tavatipsma Tissa heaven. And then the third one is the Yama heaven. And then the fourth one is the Tusita, Tusita heaven. And then the fifth one is the Nimanarati heaven. So, and then there are more. Paranimitta Vasavati heaven. So these are the six heavens, six tiers of heavens, higher and higher, higher and higher. So if a person practices meritorious deeds by giving and by moral discipline to different degree. The higher he or she will be reborn in heaven, in heavenly beings, one heaven above the other. So it's actually sort of like not a transiting, it's sort of like a rebirth, being reborn into another higher heaven, depending on the degree of giving, depending on the degree of moral discipline that one actually abide by. Okay, so these are actually the heavenly beings. So I don't know whether you really want to become a heavenly being. I don't, because unless we, hopefully with the meditation that we have developed this lifetime, I really doubt that we can be actually be reborn in the pure abodes in the Tusita garden, in the Tusita heaven. In the Tusita heaven, there are pure abodes that you continue to practice. But I don't know whether one's actually when one arrives to the heaven, one still remembers to meditate. We have a good friend. actually, who passed away maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And I went to visit him at Vancouver General. And his name is Rodney, right? And I said, Rodney, are you ready? And he said, oh, I'm ready to go anytime, sister. I said, so do you know where you're going? He said, oh, I have had such a tough life this lifetime. I just want to go up there and rest for a little while.
Wanted to take a lifetime off.
Yeah, that's what he said. I just wanted to take a lifetime off. I just want to go up there and rest a little. I said, oh, really? You really wanted that? He said, yeah. I said, okay. So at that time, have I read this book? I think I have read this book already, but I wasn't very fluent at that time with this book as I am now. So I didn't. I mean, and also, I mean, I don't say such a thing to people. Is don't go there. I won't say. But then we diverted our conversation. He said, sister, you know what? I wanted to go for a walk. I said, sure. So at that time there was another friend there who was a man friend. So 3 of us went down from Vancouver General with all his tubes and everything. And I said, okay, what do you want? He said, I want a sorbet. I said, you want a sorbet? Really? With all your tubes there? He said, yeah, sister, I really want a sorbet. So we, Vancouver General, right? We wheel him down on Broadway, and there were like little cafes. We went in there. I went in there. You have sorbet? He said, no. Ice cream we have. I said, no, I want sorbet. I said, what kind of sorbet? Blueberry. I said, oh, blueberry sorbet. He said, no sorbet, ice cream. I said, blueberry ice cream, Rodney. No. I want sorbet. I said, how can you go to heaven? Does heaven have sorbet? But anyway, at that time, good thing that it was that choices or Whole Food. No, was it Choices or Whole Food? Just next to Canby and Broadway. Whole Food, yeah. And I said, why don't we go to Whole Food? He said, sure. Let us go to Whole Food. His eye was just opening up. So we wheel him all the way to Whole Food. Went into Whole Food. I said, it's on me. Your sorbet is on me today, Rodney. Just pick whatever sorbet you want. So he picked 2 sorbets. And then a piece, and Vancouver Sun newspaper. And then we went back to the hospital. We had sorbet, 2 types of sorbet, blueberry and mango, I think. It was so funny. It was Rodney, our meditator friends. I just wanted to take a break from this life. He said, this life has been too tough. I just wanted to rest up there. I said, I hope you can get there.
The one other good story of Rodney is when the doctor was telling him he had
cancer, terminal cancers, yeah.
Rodney ended up comforting the doctor.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear that? Did you hear what Paul said? Well, yeah, the doctor was telling Rodney that he had terminal cancer. And it ended up that Rodney was comforting the doctor. And I remember Rodney was very, very strong meditator. He was sitting my course one day. He had this severe pain. And so we sent him off to Merritt. And he had kidney stones. And the doctor said, you had kidney stones and you can still smile? He said, so what? Kidney stones, only kidney stones. So that was our meditator friend. So, of course, he has passed. So Rodney, come and say hello to us if you are in the heaven. So the best kinds of, this is actually, one, of course, the 4 Great Kings and the Tavatisma Tipsa heaven are the closest to human beings. And then the Yama and the Tusita are a little bit further away. Okay, let us finish this then. So the best kinds of confidence. So the Buddha said there are best kinds of confidence. Confidence in what? 4 best kinds of confidence. The confidence in the Buddha, he said. Confidence in the Buddha. Where is it? And then the confidence in the Dharma, the noble Eightfold Path. And then the confidence in the Dharma. And the confidence in the Sangha. So you all know the 4 pairs and the 8 types of individuals after we have actually studied the Ratana Sutta, right? So you should all know this by heart. So which are the 4 types? The 4 pairs and the 8 types of individuals. Which 4? Oh wow, Catherine. That's great, Catherine from San Francisco. Just a minute. There you go. Can hear. There you go. No. Unmute yourself, Catherine. There you go.
I thought I already said it, but you didn't hear. Anyway, the Sudipana.
Yep.
Sakadagami,
Anagami,
Arahant.
But there are only 4. But these are only 4. Why is this 4 pairs and 8 types? Is she again? There you go.
The 8 pair?
Yeah, no, the 4 pairs, 8 types.
Oh, the 8 types.
Can remember?
Give me some hint.
It's all there.
The 8 type.
You can remember.
I need some hint.
Okay, Versha. Okay.
Versha.
Okay, Versha. Versha. There you go, Versha.
Okay, so there's for each of them there's a Sotapanna Pali and Sotapanna Magga. So one who's just entered and one who's completed.
Good.
Has accomplished in that.
Yes. So for these 4 pairs, the first is somebody just enter the path. So the people are walking on the path. So there are 4. And then there are 4 fruitions, right? Fruitions. So that means somebody who has walked on the path and somebody who has attained that fruition. So somebody who has entered the path of Sotapanna and somebody who has actually attained the Sotapanna fruition. So the person who is walking on the path is not the same person, is not the same person as the one who has attained Sotapanna. It's different, right? So that's why there are 4. Okay, so 4 paths with 4 fruitions. So remember, this is easier to remember. 4 paths with 4 types of people practicing, and 4 types of people have reached that goal, that achievement. So 4 paths and 4 fruition. That's easy to remember. Remember, you don't have to memorize at all. Okay? So there are graduates, there are people studying at university, and there are people who graduated, who get the BSc, who get the PhD, who get the master. That's fruition. You see? So it's easy to remember. You don't have to really memorize. So that's the hint. 2 faces, path and its fruits. Right? Okay? So the Buddha said, whatever extent there are beings, whether footless or 2 feet or 4 feet or many feet, form or formless, percipient or non-percipient, neither percipient or non-percipient. The Tathagata is the one that I declare to be the best. So one should have the confidence in the Buddha, because he's the best, and one should practice what he actually taught, and also is the best, is Noble Eightfold Path, and also the Dharma that he has taught, this passion, the detachments from all these attachments and from all these craving and ignorance and everything. And then for those people who are walking on the path, the Sangha members, who actually the examples or the role models that one should follow. Okay, so here we actually finished this subchapter. So let us do a little reflections this time. So last week there are 7 types of karma and 7 types of fruits. Karma and its fruits last week, right? So somebody is short-lived, somebody is long-lived, somebody is sick all the time, or somebody is very born healthy, or somebody born being ugly, somebody born being very beautiful, somebody born with no influence, or grow up with no influence, some grow up with a lot of influential abilities, or some are very poor, some are very wealthy, or some are born low, some are born high, and some are unwise, some are very wise. So last week I asked the questions, out of these sevens, which are really outside and which one is inside? So remember, we didn't really get to a conclusion. Have you thought about that? Did you agree with what I said at the end of the session? Is there is really only one that is inside, and everything is outside, external. Right? Agree? Which one is the inside thing? Out of the 7. Short-lived, long-lived, sick, healthy, ugly, beautiful, influential, non-influential, poor and wealthy, low-born, high-born, stupid and wise. Nora?
Influential.
Influential?
Yeah.
No.
That's what I wrote down.
Basha?
I think stupid and wise.
Yes, stupid and wise is the only that is inside. Everything is really directed towards outside. Okay, so coming to this week is, so which is the development in relationship to the outside, and which one is related to the inside? So these three meritorious deeds, by giving, by moral discipline, and by meditation. So which is directed, which is related related to the outside, and which is related to the inside? Or which are related to the inside, which are related to the outside?
Molly's got her hand up.
Molly? Don't go yet, Molly. Why don't you try, 60? No, try unmuting Molly. Okay.
I did.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Molly, there you go.
Moral discipline and development of meditation would be inside,
Okay.
and giving would be outside.
Okay, all right. Anybody else? Nobody?
Oh, Irene.
Irene? Okay, there you go.
Giving is outside, meditation inside, moral discipline could be outside, inside.
Okay, moral discipline could be outside and inside. Okay. Anybody else? Nora? Tissa. Okay, Tissa first, then Nora.
Yeah, it's good. I think out of the three, what is inside is the meditation. The other two are outside, giving and then moral discipline. That is the way I look at it.
Okay, good. Anybody else? Nora. Nora actually had her hand up just now. No? Okay. No. Anybody else? Paul?
Moral discipline and meditation are inside.
Inside. Okay.
You can be totally alone and without moral discipline, what are you?
Okay, you'll be totally alone but without moral discipline.
No, I'm just saying, what kind of person are you if you don't have moral discipline, even though you're not affecting anyone else?
Even though you're not affecting anyone else. It could be. But I see that moral discipline is actually really a lot of outside. Because not to steal, not to kill, not to lie, not to and not to commit adultery, and not to take intoxicants, right? That is actually more outside than inside. But of course, when you talk about this moral discipline, one has to have a strong intention at the back of our mind to upkeep this moral discipline. That's what you meant, yeah. Yeah.
You have to have the moral discipline in you before you practice.
Yeah, before you practice moral discipline.
Correct.
Yeah, Paul said that you need to have this moral discipline in you before you practice moral discipline. So that means the intention of keeping the precepts. You need to have that intention of upkeeping the precepts. Then you will abide by the precepts. Then you will not hurt others. Then you will not steal. Then you will not lie, etc. So on and so on. Okay, Ramin raised his hand. Does he have a question or he wants to talk, Ramin? Okay, Ramin. Yeah.
Yes. Sister Jessie, it's not that if inside and outside, how is it different? It's not the extension of the same thing?
It's the extension of the same thing. I don't understand that question.
About moral, they were talking about, is it inside or outside?
In relationship to the outside. Which one is a development in relationship to the outside? Or which one is a relationship related to the inside? That's the question.
Somehow I just thought both of them is the same. It's just coming from the same one place. It's just the extension of the other one. If they are oriented in our mind in such a way, then outside also impacted by that.
Yeah, of course, that just like what Paul said, right? If you don't have the moral discipline inside, then you will not be able to have this moral discipline towards the outside. Paul, yes.
The end action meditation is probably the only inside.
Yes, yeah. Yes, meditation is probably the only inside. Yes, yeah, I agree. That's my view. That's my view.
The other end up as an outside
Yeah,
action.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ramin. Tisa has something to say.
So, dana, sila, bhavana. Dana is giving. Sila is the so-called, some people use it, moral discipline, and the bhavana, it follows.
Yeah.
Without, you can't just sit and meditate if you don't have cultivated some degree of discipline within yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this discipline, like you said, is related to the outside.
Yep. Yeah.
You for five senses you get so many things
Yep.
to you, right?
Yep.
I yes, but
Yeah.
if you don't have that discipline, then you can't meditate.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Yeah. Good. Well, I like this kind of interactive, critical thinking. It's nice. So you understand more, then we explore more. Okay. So for all these three steps, is it a gradual step-by-step development? Okay, I will develop in giving, then I will develop in moral discipline, then I will develop in meditation, or it is the cultivation, or they can be all developed concurrently, they can all develop together, simultaneously. We should actually practice it at the same time. What do you think? What do you think? Is it okay? I will perfect in my giving first. I'll perfect in my moral discipline first, then I will do meditation, like the Sakka kings. Paul.
Depending on your karma, it's an interactive.
Yes, it is an interactive development, and depending on your karma, it's true. You are very correct. Really, depending on your karma. Anybody else have any other views? Is this an interactive thing, or they are totally independent of each other, or they could be practiced together? What is your own experience? Yeah, Catherine, that's good. Catherine.
Oh, Sifu, yeah, I think all this development, it should be developed concurrently.
Yeah.
Very often, especially we started off with the easy thing, like giving.
Yeah.
And then very often it's hard for us to do, we leave meditation behind.
Yes.
So we started off with giving first.
Yeah.
But then it should not be, yeah.
Oh, good. So, yeah, good.
Happen at the same time.
Okay. It's good. So Kambin from San Francisco also said they should be all together. So Tisa, Mali. Yes, Mali.
What I was going to say is to practice all together, and anytime an opportunity comes up, like your example this earlier today.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they are all interrelated. They are all interactive. And yes, Ava?
Siva, I think also from my experiences that not only are they interactive, but they're also inside of each other.
Interrelated, yeah.
You have the dana in your meditation.
Yeah.
And in your...
Yeah. So Eva brought up a very good point is all this not just along interactive, but yet it's all in there. Everyone is in each other, isn't it? When you are not stealing, when one is not killing, then one starts to have this loving kindness, cultivating loving kindness. then you don't kill. Because you don't kill, then the loving kindness strengthens. Or when you don't steal, or when one doesn't steal, one starts to learn how to become more and more generous, giving, right? So it's really not, they are really not independent of each other. It seems that there are three different parts, but they are all interrelated and interactive. And I think each factor has the other two factors in them. If you just focus on one factor, then you will be like the sucker king, right? If we just focus on dana and moral discipline, we will be reborn up there. Okay, so I think we need to actually develop these three at the same time. So don't miss out your meditation twice a day. Otherwise, skip your meal. Okay. All right. Okay, that's it for tonight. Great. And okay, let us dedicate our merits. So may these blessings extend to all, that we with all the other living beings together will attain the Buddha way. May we wish more informed people will encounter the wise words of the Buddha, study them, practice them, and integrate them into the life, help themselves to disentangle from all the sufferings, unhappiness, and be ultimately free and happy and peaceful. May you all have a good week.